chance, this is it. Oh, na, na. Until it's written in the constellations, call me feeling dangerous, risk the odds, I'll face the consequences. Life written till you lose it on the don't give in. When in love like heroin, got you falling in my skin. Take a chance, this is it. Oh, na, na. Love is like a love. No, no, go until we hit the floor.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning if you are in North America. Welcome to the third and final VOR IndyNXT Exhibition Series event here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We've had 4 sprint races over 2 events, all of which have had different winners. So let's see if we can add a 5th one to that list here today. Now, as mentioned, this is Las Vegas Motor Speedway, one singular 100-mile race. And yes, the lap count is going to be made fun of. I'll get it out of the way. It's something to do with 6-7. Yeah, there we go. We got that out of the way. So now we can focus on the real thing. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, of course, last hosted the IndyCar Series in that troubled 2011 event that wasn't really an event anymore officially. Of course, we all know what happened there, but yeah, Las Vegas Motor Speedway did used to play host to an Indy NXT, or back then as it was known, Indy Lights round. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how these cars race here today. But yeah, I'm Julien Altena, producing and commentating today by myself. Next season we will have a exciting lineup there for the commentary. Howie Burrows is going to join the commentary coverage on the streams. I will stay on the producer box, but Howie will be calling the races going forward. So for those of you who are watching and want to get involved, make sure to sign up over on the Google form. I'm sure Aman will be watching and he can send a link to that. But let's go into qualifying, which is underway. A minute 18 seconds or so left on the board. So let's take a look at the qualifying order. And at the moment it is Nicolas Charpentier on the provisional pole position with a 28.273, which is only 0.003 of a second ahead of Pim van Gastel. Milan Vogelsang also not too far behind, and the field spread as a whole is very, very close today. Looks like we've got 8 drivers today with us, so it's going to be an interesting race here. For those of you who are familiar with the International IndyCar League, which select races are broadcasted off on the channel, They used to race here, or they went to race here, excuse me, a week and a half ago. And that was won by yours truly, myself, winning the race. But it was kind of a practice run for a lot of people, because both leagues will be using the same setup. Of course, tonight, later on, we've got the main series, the IndyCar Series. As this is still showing last week's scheduling, but you can see here anyway. Tonight at 8 Central European Summertime, we've got the iRacing VOR IndyCar Series at Las Vegas. Then next week, on this time slot, we will have, close to this time slot anyway, the IndyNXT iRacing Series. And then for real, the VOR IndyNXT Series begins on the 25th, which will run on off weeks for the main NXT iRacing Series. But qualifications are complete. We'll get into the starting lineup here in just a short second, as we get ready to go here for the Las Vegas 100. Before we dive into things though, I want to quickly remind people of the inaugural season on the VOR IndyNXT Series. We'll be doing round 1 on the 25th of April. Again, how we will be calling the races with me on production. 2 12-lap sprint races for Laguna, Seca, then 2 47-lap sprint races at Iowa, and then a special start time for the inaugural Freedom 100 on May 9th, which will be a singular 40-lap race just like this one here today. So that's what's coming up on the IndyNXT side of things, but let's get into the starting lineup for this race. Nicolas Charpentier on the pole with Pim van Gastel alongside him. Exciting front row between those two. Milan Vogelzanger, Roden Eveting on the second row. Then row 3, we've got Tane Hudson, who is making their first start in this series. Good to see Tane. He used to run a bunch of races a couple seasons ago in the main series. John Christensen alongside him. Then moving on to the fourth and final row, it is Nigel Stock and Toby Deck. So field is rolling on its first and only pace lap here today, as the field makes their way down the back straight. Now remember, this is just an exhibition series, so don't be alarmed by the car counts. Of course, a lot of people don't want to drive a proper championship until there is one. So if you want to get involved, make sure to do the sign up. Aman Lal will be running the series, with me producing the broadcast, with Howie Burrows commentating the races next season. So make sure to get involved for that. It's going to be a great, exciting ride for everyone involved, which I think will produce some great racing. So you'll definitely not want to miss it. Alright, here we go. Pace car is off. 100 miles, 67 laps of racing at Las Vegas. Field in control of Charpentier. Green is out. And we are running at Las Vegas. Oh! Louis Charpentier, he gets into the wall on the end of the first lap, and there's also another car spinning further down in the lineup. And oh, there's big carnage in turns 3 and 4. Multiple cars involved, as we are officially on the second lap of the race. But it looks like somebody out in front on cold tires just completely lost it. We'll have to get a replay of that in just a short second, but it looks like half the field is involved in that first lap accident. And Nigel Stock is the only one running, I'm assuming. And we are still green, surprisingly enough. So Pim van Gastel is the leader in front of Toby Deck, Nigel Stock, the top 3, and the rest of the field is a lap down. Alright, let's see if we can dissect what happened here. So Charpentier has already lost it, and then there's, I think, Roden trying to avoid, and he clips Milan's right rear, and then there's just nowhere to go for everybody else, and Tane Hudson gets tagged around as well. and John Christensen going for an awkward ride up top on on Tane's car. And yeah, that is definitely a suboptimal beginning to the race. We'll get another angle here with Tane. See what happened to Tane here. And yeah, just get clipped from behind. Okay, so Roden also gets loose, but it looks like he is correcting the slide, but Charpentier is already making contact to Pim. And right as that is happening, there's a car for Roden on the inside as well to worry about, so that doesn't allow him to make the save. It does look like to me that he would have held on if, of course, hypothetically that car on the inside wasn't there, which of course is an if, but just a really awkward situation on the cold tires where just nobody has a place to go. So big carnage, which just leaves 3 cars on the lead lap. As we rejoin live. And Nigel Stock now in second. As Toby Deck has had an issue as well, whilst we were looking at some replays. So we'll get this out of the way. And this was Toby coming off pit exit, which I assume will mean he loses the rear on the exit. Very easy to do over here. Okay, it wasn't there, so it must be cold tires then as he gets up to speed here. Into 3. And 4, hits the bump. Looks good to me so far. Interesting by ATVO to list that as Toby Deck may have crashed, but it was just a pit stop. So now the race is just the race for third place at the moment, as Pim van Gastel has a 16-second lead. For those of you just joining, we've had a bit of an oopsie on cold tires on the first lap, which involved over half the field. Then Toby Deck has had some sort of issue which required him to come to pit road, probably due to damage from that first lap accident. So that leaves Pim van Gastel 16 seconds clear of Nigel Stock, who slides up on Toby, who is a lap down. And your pole sitter Charpentier leads the lap down cars. As Roden Eeftink has parked it. So here is your race leader, Pim van Gastel. One of the few drivers, along with Nigel Stock, to really keep their noses clean on that first lap. As that's a teammate up high. The 26 of Milan Vogelsang unlapping himself from 3 laps down to 2 laps down. As Tane Hodson and John Christensen battle for the 5th position. Tane getting the better of that spot for now. Of course, still a long way to go. 55 laps to go. As John shoots to the inside, regains the spot. And it looks like these two are trying to work together to close the gap to the cars on the lead lap. But first up for them, of course, is the next 2 cars for position. So Toby Deck now back up into the 3rd spot. He gets by Stock and Charpentier to move himself up to 3rd place. There he goes. Nice little run for him to gain back some track position, which of course was lost on the opening lap with that stop due to damage. So here is Pim. Of course, he started on the outside of the front row. And he kept his nose clean on the first lap of the race, which kind of gifted him the lead. But he is 13 seconds clear of Nigel Stock, who is closing the gap. Remember that gap was 16 seconds about 10 laps ago, so he's gained about 3 of those back. So at this rate, Nigel Stock is going to be there to challenge for the win. As across the line this group of cars goes, involving Stock, Beck and Charpentier, who are working together and definitely gaining ground on the leader. Looks like John Christensen has had an incident as well, battling with Tane Hodson on the front straight. This is on lap 12. As he gets in the wall in the grey, gets a bit of dirt on the tires. Seems to be a little bit loose off the corner, but nothing much affecting him. And oh, he gets loose there in turn 3 and 4, and there he goes into the outside wall. And that is day done for John with a flapping left rear tire. So that's day done for John, at least in the morning support race. Of course, later up tonight we've got the main show, 267 laps, 400 miles coming your way, in which Liam O'Sullivan is set to be crowned champion in the 15th VOR IndyCar Series season, simply by starting the race. That's how much of a lead he has in the points championship. And he is also going for the Triple Crown after winning the first 400-mile race at Fontana, the Indy 500 back in February, and of course now today on April 11th. Oh, Charpentier spinning on the inside on the apron on the front straight, and this might bring out the yellow. Oh, and he gets tagged by, who is that? That's Tane Hodson. So here is Charpentier spinning, and let's grab Tane here just before he makes contact. And yeah, Charpentier comes down on the track. Not sure if Nicholas had his brakes pressed all the way down or not, but he was definitely sliding down the track still. Whether that was by design or not remains to be seen by another look at the replay here in just a second, but very unfortunate for Tane to be in that position. As I'm trying to rewind it just far enough back to see what happened to Charpentier. So tries to cross over Toby and just drives himself up on the apron, and of course he is under no obligation to Toby, that is, to give him that track position back, because apron is off limits. And yeah, it's basically Nicholas' own responsibility to rejoin safely, and he couldn't, and he paid the price for that 100,000%. And yeah, just awful luck for Tane Hodson. First appearance in the VOR league as a whole in many weeks, many months. Just see it end like that is just not ideal. So that eliminates another one, and then we have 3 cars running within a lap and a half of the leader. Oh, this is certainly one of the races of all time. So, crossing the line for 40 laps to go is Pim van Gastel. He is your leader by 13.7 seconds over Nigel Stock, who is trailing Toby Deck, who is a position behind on the timing and scoring, but a position in front on the racetrack. Of course, 1 lap separating those two. And Toby is in a powerless position because he can't really do anything to gain ground on Stock, who is right behind. And of course, if he gives up the track position, he's going to be a lap down to Stock as well. So I guess the only thing you can really do right now is just to sit in front of him and hope for a yellow, which we should have had by now. For some reason we haven't, which is interesting for iRacing standards. It would be good if we could get some insight on what happened with the first lap accident, because it really looked like cold tires. But it does seem strange for 3-4 people to lose it on cold tires. That's what makes me a little bit suspicious about something else maybe going on. And Toby Deck decides to ride the wall for some strange reason. So Pim still has teammate Milan right behind him. And I think they're gonna play this as safe as they possibly can. You don't want to ruin a good result in any capacity for your team. And Milan is running 3 laps out, so probably just logging laps. As we are closing in on the halfway point in the Las Vegas 100. Now I should stress a big disclaimer, this is not usually how these races go, but this might not be the best timing in the world to bring this promo up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Of course, for those of you watching and wanting to join in on this stuff, next season gets underway. The inaugural official season begins at Laguna Seca on April 25th, so that is in 2 weeks from now. The 18th will be off due to the Indy NXT iRacing Series being at that time. But of course, the inaugural IndyNXT Series for VOR gets underway with 2 sprint races at Laguna Seca. Of course, a top 10 invert for race number 2. The same format for Iowa Speedway. 47 lap races there on the 2nd of May. And then on the 9th of May, the inaugural Freedom 100, a singular 40 lap race, which has a special start time as well of 5 p.m. Central European Summer Time, opposed to the usual 8 p.m. That is due to the real life Indy Grand Prix in the Indy NXT world, if I do believe so. Amanda's made the schedule, so I would have to ask him, but pretty sure that's the reason. So yeah, if you want to get involved, I will post the link because Amanda is not watching right now, so I'll do it. But it's going to be very interesting to see how these cars race with a proper championship format. Of course, if the first 2 rounds are anything to go by, the racing is going to be great. Of course, this Indy NXT Exhibition Series started at Richmond on March the 14th. Kyle Gretsch was leading and dominating the early portions of that first race until he had an accident with Toby Deck. And that cost him the win. Then he was able to rebound for race 2 and win that one. And then last week at St. Pete, we've had 2 exciting races both in the Indy NXT car and also the big Indy car. Especially a great battle between Liam O'Sullivan and Aman Lal for the win. In both races, it has to be said. As we now have 30 laps to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in what has been a chaotic opening portion of this event, and of course a very quiet side of things after that, with not many cars left to run after that big lap 1 accident. We'll get another replay of that up here in just a second, but Milan Vogelsang and Pim van Gastel trading fastest laps. Milan has it right now, 28.053. So those two drivers gaining speed, gaining time on Nigel Stock. So let's rewind it all the way back to the start. So this is going green, going through turns 1 and 2, down the backstretch, and then into turn 3 is where it all begins. Charpentier up on the high side gets loose here on corner entry. Pim is on the inside, and he kind of straightens up Charpentier, but Rodin also loses it into Milan Vogelsang, who spins right in front of the rest of the field. And from there, it is Tane Hodson getting involved, as well as John Christensen. Toby Deck with damage makes it through. And they on the top of your screen, you can see Pim van Gastel. And those two Arden drivers are the only two people on top of Nigel Stock who had to come to a stop to make it through without much damage. And somehow there was no yellow for this. So for those wondering, that's exactly what happened on the beginning laps of this race, which results in 2 cars on the lead lap, 3 cars running within a lap and a half from the leader, and the rest of the top 5 being filled by 3 and 5 lap down cars. So once again, a disclaimer, the races usually do not go this way, but the cold tires of the Indy NXT car proving to be catching a lot of people off. And there's only one thing you can say to that is people need to practice a little bit more. Alright, 25 laps to go, clicking over to 24. This is event 3. Race number 5 of the VOR Indy NXT Exhibition Series from Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada. And as mentioned, Pim van Gastel leads the way from Nigel Stock, Toby Deck the top 3, Milan Vogelsang and Charpentier the top 5. All of which are the only 5 cars running in the race. So coming up later today at 8 p.m. Central European Time, about 3 hours 15 minutes from now, the IndyCar Series Championship finale is at Las Vegas as Pim van Gastel makes his way down pit lane for what I assume to be a scheduled pit stop. So we'll follow this first, make sure Pim gets through the outlap okay, as Nigel Stock takes over the lead. And now for for Toby Deck and Nigel Stock, this becomes a battle of getting on the lead lap. If Toby Deck can pass Nigel Stock, he gets himself on the lead lap. If there's a yellow, that could put him back on the lead lap for the final 20 lap-ish shootout, if there is one, of course. So Pim van Gastel rejoins the racetrack, still on the lead lap officially, into 3 and 4. He's just a couple of seconds in front of this battle for first on track position, should be said. Not first in the race, due to Deck being a lap down. And there goes Toby to the inside. Gets on the lead lap. As Pim makes his way into 3 and 4. Let's take an onboard ride here with him. Car seems to be stable enough so far. And I think he's kind of had the worst of the cold tires if he took them. Didn't quite catch that if he did or not. But either way, he keeps his car on the track, which a couple of people from the beginning of the race are unable to say for one reason or another. So with the pit cycles now being taken, that leaves 3 cars on the lead lap, and Milan and Charpentier now 2 and 4 laps down. And I think Charpentier is good to go to the end. I just want to make sure that I got this right. And yes, Charpentier will be able to make it to the end. Vogelsang, I think, will also be good to make it to the end. As Nigel Stock was gonna say continues to run, but he is down on pit lane now for his first and only scheduled stop. Let's see if Nigel is gonna take tires. I will be curious to see. There he stops in the box. And I don't see the car going up in the air, so no tires, just gas. You need tires, you idiot! Fool! As the scene from Cars goes. Gotta be careful on the pit out here, Nigel. Worn tires on the flat apron don't go hand in hand at all. You can just see how easy he's taking it on the outlap here. Coming out of the pits. But this re-establishes the gap at the front of the field. From Pim van Gastel to Nigel Stock, the gap is 15.6 seconds. Let's switch our focus to Toby Deck, who is running a second and 3.5 tenths behind his teammate. And Toby is 50 laps into this run. I'll be curious to see if he can make it to the end. He's gonna stay out for one more at least. Oh, sliding it into the banking almost. Trying to close the gap to Pim is Toby Deck. And the more I look at this, the more I think he has a splash and go to do at the end of this thing to make it home. Because remember, we saw Pim pit on lap 50 or so. Nigel also did 51 laps. And Toby is on his 52nd right now. So I really struggle to see how Toby can make it to the end. Gonna have a go though to the outside of Pim. And it's nothing more than a look just yet. Alright, 11 laps to go. And Toby seems to be confident that he can make it, or else I don't see why he would race his teammate in any capacity with 11 laps to go. So Pim feels the need to go defensive. As Milan Vogelsang has done a great job to get his laps down to just 1 lap. And so has Charpentier, by the way. Both of those were down 3 and 5 laps respectively. Now just 1 and 3 laps down, as I've mentioned. So Pim deciding to make that pit stop definitely closes up the field a little bit. And of course it's also going to give us a battle for what could be a potential win here at Las Vegas between the two teammates. Across the line, Pim still clearly in front. Inside 10 to go, 15 miles. Now these are two teammates racing, but normally if you're not running against a teammate, you'll want to start pinching your competitor on the inside more and more each lap. Just tighten the radius for the inside car to travel to make sure they burn up their right side tires. And there it is, Pim washing up just a tiny little bit. And that allows Toby to gain some momentum up on the top. And he's going to clear Pim for the lead. First official lead change that wasn't the lap 1 wreck. As Toby Deck takes the lead at Las Vegas, 7 laps to go at the line. Whoa! Whoa! Pim had a big look to the inside, almost went to the apron on the back straight. Inside 5 laps to go now. And he was definitely showing his nose right there. I'm sure that scared Toby a little bit. I think Toby was thinking, oh man, not another wreck down the back straight. But Toby manages to hold on, 4 laps to go here at Las Vegas. He's got to make sure to block that inside line off completely to not allow any opening for Pim. I was watching that and I was thinking, Pim, you're better than this, and then right that second he ducked out to avoid an accident there. So thank you, Pim, for proving me and my thoughts correct. That would have been a ballsy move, to say the least, if he went through with it. But 3 laps to go, riding with the nose cam on Pim van Gastel's IndyNXT IL-15 Dallara. And here we go, 2 laps to go, 3 miles to decide the winner of the last round in the IndyNXT Exhibition Series. And whichever way this swings, we will get a 5th different winner in as many races. So this only proves the competition in this series, despite what has been a very low car count in the NXT, in the NXT Exhibition Series, the competition is definitely way up there. So if you want to get involved, make sure to sign up on Google Forms. I believe we are on 13 full sign-ups yet so far. So final lap of the race underway. It is Toby Deck still defending the inside line, making sure there's no way by for Pim down the back straight this time around. As here we go. Oh, there's a slow car on the inside. Oh, there we go. Gets out of the way. Toby Deck is gonna win at Las Vegas in what has been, well, there you go. That sums it up perfectly. A high attrition race, and Toby Deck with his first ever oval league race win. Nigel stuck on the outside of Charpentier. This is not for position, but Nigel does complete the podium. Vogelsang, Charpentier 4th and 5th, and then all the DNFs, Hodgson, Christensen and Eeftink. And I think Toby has ran out of fuel. He wasn't able to make it back to the line. So here are your results from Las Vegas in the third and final round of the Indy NXT VOR Exhibition Series. Toby Deck with the win in front of teammate Pim van Gastel, who led the majority of the laps, but Toby was able to make a late push and get the win. Nigel Stock completes the podium. Milan Vogelsang, Nicolas Charpentier complete the top 5, and as covered, Tane Hudson, John Christensen and Rodin Eeftink all with DNFs today. And before we dive into the server for potential interviews, just want to quickly show how many laps Pim van Gastel led today and how many Toby Deck led. 54 for Pim and only the last 8 for Toby Deck, who was able to complete that pass for the lead on lap 59. And all he has to do was look in the mirror after that. So a great result by the both of them. And just checking in the Discord server, no one available for an interview, unfortunately, so we'll wrap it up here from Las Vegas. So, as mentioned, the first official Indy NXT Series round gets underway on April 25th at Laguna Seca Raceway for 2 sprint races. Coverage will begin at 8 p.m. Central European Time. That is a new start time for the series. Of course, this series was just an exhibition, so a lot of things will be a little bit differently, but hopefully the racing, apart from this one today, of course, the racing from the first 2 events stay the same. Join us in 2 weeks from the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the inaugural round of the Indy NXT Series. If you want to get involved, make sure to sign up. In the description is in the chat is a link posted to Google Forms. You can get signed up there. I've been Julien Altena, providing you commentary and production today from Las Vegas. And of course, this is all made possible by Engineering GBR for providing us with the software ATVO, Andrew Schulte for making the beautiful IndyCar and Fox replica overlay, and the onboard cameras made by yours truly. So thanks everybody for watching this interesting race. Let's just keep it at that, and we hope you join us 2 weeks from now for the inaugural round of the Indy NXT Series officially at Laguna Seca. Commentary will be provided by Howie Burrows, which I'm very excited for. So thanks once again. See you all in 2 weeks.